Every so often a story comes along in tech that just sounds impossible. A story that completely rewrites the rules and makes you question everything you thought you knew about building a company. Well, this is one of those stories.
So let's start with this number, $1 billion. That's the valuation of a company you've probably never even heard of. It's called MUGATI AI, and it's been working completely in stealth mode. So you have to be asking, who is the huge team that pulled this off?
And here's where it gets wild. There is no team. There are 0 employees. There is just one person, the founder, Chris Carter. This is the world's very first solo-operated AI unicorn.
Right. How on earth does one single person build a billion-dollar company all by himself? The answer is just this incredible mix of pure resilience, decades of deep expertise, and a totally new way of working with technology.
So to really get what this company is, you first have to understand the founder. And I'll tell you, this is not your typical Silicon Valley fairy tale. This is a story that was forged in some serious real-world challenges.
The founder, Chris Carter, he really put it best. He said, "Human resilience, when amplified by AI, is the most powerful force in the modern economy." And that's the idea at the core of all of this. It's not just about the tech. It's about what one incredibly determined person can do when they're supercharged by artificial intelligence.
And that resilience, that's not just some buzzword. His journey started with a tough childhood, what he calls the 11th couch. Then he spent 35 years becoming a world-class expert in these super complex SAP systems. And get this, just 3 days after a major surgery to fuse carbon fiber and titanium into his spine, he was on a plane to Dubai for a mission. I mean, that's the level of grit we are talking about here.
So that level of resilience is just incredible. But was he really, truly alone? Well, not exactly. You could say he had a workforce, but it was an AI workforce. He built his entire company on this high-precision stack of Google's most advanced tools. Think of Google Gemini as his co-founder for coding and strategy, Notebook LM as his entire research department, Chrome as his gateway, and other powerful Google tools basically acting as his entire operational team. This AI stack was the company.
Okay, so you have this incredibly resilient founder with an AI army at his fingertips. What huge billion-dollar problem does he go after? Well, it all boils down to this fundamental conflict that sits right at the very heart of our digital world.
See, right now, companies are stuck with what MUGATI AI calls the false choice. On one side, you've got data power. You want to use all your data to innovate, to build amazing AI, to collaborate. But on the other side, you've got data privacy. You have to comply with laws like HIPAA and GDPR, and you absolutely have to keep your customers' trust. The problem is, to use your data, you've traditionally had to expose it, and that's a massive risk. And the cost of making this choice is just staggering. It opens you up to huge cyber risks. It creates this collaboration wall where your most valuable data is just locked away, totally useless. And all of that leads to missed opportunities for innovation, not to mention the absolutely devastating financial and reputational damage that comes from a data breach.
So you've got this impossible choice. It seems like you can't win. MUGATI AI looked at that and developed something that can finally bridge this gap between innovation and security. It's basically a new foundation for building AI you can actually trust.
Their solution is as simple as it is brilliant. Instead of trying to manage this impossible choice, they just eliminate it completely. You no longer have to choose between using your data and protecting it. You can actually, finally, do both at the very same time.
So how is that even possible? Well, the magic here is a technology called homomorphic encryption, or HE. The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine you have a locked, transparent box. You can see what's inside, and you can even operate on the stuff inside using gloves that are built into the box, but you never, ever open it. HE is the digital version of that. It lets you run complex analyses on data while that data stays completely locked down and encrypted. The raw data itself is never exposed.
Now, AI isn't some brand new idea, but it's always had a huge problem. It was incredibly painfully slow, way too slow for any real-world use. MUGATI AI's huge breakthrough is a proprietary technology that makes it up to 100 times faster than anything else out there. And that's the game changer. That's what makes real-time, secure AI possible right now.
So that's the breakthrough tech. But what does it actually look like as a product? Let's take a look at what customers are already using today.
The product is called the MUGATI AI Shield, and you can think of it like an invisible, totally unbreakable layer of protection that just wraps around an organization's most sensitive information, creating, well, a digital sanctuary.
And the specs on this thing are really impressive. We're talking millisecond security evaluations, which means it's so fast you don't even know it's there. It's device agnostic, so it works on any computer, no need for a huge expensive hardware upgrade, and it universally monitors all outbound data, basically acting like a smart guardrail, stopping breaches before they can even happen.
But here's what's really different about the philosophy. Most security tools are just about blocking things. They just say no and get in your way. The MUGATI Shield is actually designed to empower and educate people. It's not just trying to stop bad things. It's about building a smarter, more secure culture from the inside out.
So how do they empower people? Instead of just sending scary, complex alerts, every employee gets a simple security score. It basically gamifies security, making it this easy-to-understand metric that helps people learn and get better. You can actually see a live version of this dashboard at mugatu-beacon-desk.lovable.app, and you'll see how it makes security feel more like a human interaction than just another tech problem.
So when you put it all together, the solo founder, the AI workforce, this breakthrough tech, you start to realize this isn't just another company. This is a blueprint for a whole new kind of giant.
Yeah, the story of MUGATI AI is about way more than just a new security tool. It's about a fundamental shift in how huge, world-changing value can be created, and it challenges all our old ideas about what it takes to build something massive.
What this really gives us is a whole new playbook. It starts with one person, a solo founder with incredible, deep expertise who decides to take on a problem that everyone else thinks is unsolvable. Then, they amplify their own intelligence with AI tools. And the result? A billion-dollar empire built by one person. I mean, that is a true paradigm shift.
And that really leaves us with this final, massive question for the future of, well, everything. Work, technology, entrepreneurship. This story proves it's not just science fiction anymore. It's possible. So the question we all need to start thinking about now is, what does it mean for the rest of us when a single determined mind can build a giant?